Hey guys, it's me Dax, back after 6 weeks in sunny Thailand. I'm now back to sunny England. It hasn't been sunny since I've been back, so this is the very first day. So I decided to get my mountain bike out and go for a bit of a ride through the beautiful English countryside here in Essex, where I live. And today I'm on here for a little bit of a rant, really, and I know like ranting isn't really my style, so, and you'll probably find that my rant is a fair bit softer than a lot of other people's, but I guess you could say a strongly worded and opinionated set of comments. That's my version of a rant. Ranting really isn't my style. I don't really look to get into combat and conflict with people, not because I'm afraid of doing so, just because I don't see it really settles anything, and I also don't necessarily think that my opinion is any more valuable than anyone else's. But I do have an opinion, and I do feel strongly about expressing it today, and it's this. Over the last couple of weeks, and particularly as I'm in the build-up, kind of most people know that I run high-ticket events, right? I run high-ticket events for life coaches. I run high-ticket events for trainers. I run high-ticket retreats. Basically every business that I've run really over the last 18 years has transformalized, that's the real word, into a high-ticket business. It's what I specialize in. And I've spent a long time developing the skills, and I spent a long time and a lot of effort and a lot of money in developing those skills and creating the certainty and creating the results for the clients and the students and everybody else that come to work with me. So I feel that I'm pretty well qualified to speak about high ticket. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've had lots of inquiries from various people asking about how they can build out their high ticket coaching business. And many of these conversations generally tend to go along the same lines. It's something like this: I really want to build high ticket. I can see how it's the way to go with my business. It's going to give me a lot more freedom. It's going to kind of open up my days a lot, so I'm less burnt out. I'm going to make more money. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be great. So in other words, they've drunk the Kool-Aid, right? Kind of, and in the nicest possible way. Don't forget, I'm largely responsible for distributing a lot of that Kool-Aid, right? So they've drunk the Kool-Aid. They're coming around to the idea that, yeah, going high ticket would be awesome. And then the discussion normally goes something along the lines of, what do I need to do to start taking my business high ticket? And I explain something along the lines of working either with myself or with someone else, or investing in a certain kind of program, or going on a certain kind of course, or investing in a certain kind of funnel or marketing expert to help you with something. And invariably the commentary comes back is that they can't afford that, or they won't pay that, or that's too much. And wow, no, kind of, I'm not in a place where I can spend 3, 5, 8, 10, whatever grand, whatever the number is. And now I'm not judging anybody for not having enough money to run a program or to invest in themselves on a certain course. I'm really not. Kind of, we're all at different stages of our lives, and I remember stages of my life where it was all I could do to kind of get through the month, right? So I'm certainly not judging anyone for not having enough money, but here's where it kind of rubs me a little bit raw. Coaches who want to build high ticket businesses and who want to attract high-end clients but won't invest in themselves, or won't actually pay for a high ticket investment in themselves, right? So I heard this quote once, and it was at one of the masterminds that I'm part of, and it was that you'll never ever sell like a warrior if you buy like a wimp. Okay, in other words, if you're expecting people to pay you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand for your high ticket events and going on your high ticket retreats and your high ticket coaching packages and all that kind of stuff, and yet you are counting the pennies and you are continuously saying no to your own high-end investments, your own high ticket investments, to bring you up, to actually bring up your quality and your skill and your knowledge and your ability. If you are perpetually saying no to that, then you're going to have a hell of a hard time selling high ticket to any other person. There's this, you could say it's almost a metaphysical thing, right? You can't touch it, but there's almost this feeling that people know whether you've done the work on yourself. They know, just like in coaching, they know whether you've done values work on yourself, and if you're in alignment with your values. They know if you've been doing the exploration work and if you've been doing the journaling. And what you'll always find is that those people who are really kind of doing the work on themselves, those coaches who are doing the work on themselves with the journaling, with the values, they find it easy to have values and journaling discussions with clients, and their clients continue to do the journaling and the values work, right? Those coaches who skip aside and kind of say, well, it sounds really good and I'll say the words to other people, but I'm not really doing it myself. Those guys are the ones that have a real hard time getting their clients to adhere to journaling and values work and all of that deeper side of stuff. And so too with high ticket. Right? Asking another human being, looking another human being in the eyes and asking them to give you 10, 15, 20,000 pounds, dollars, euros, yen, whatever, right? Asking somebody else for a lot of money when you yourself are refusing to spend much money to invest in yourself and your own growth, it gets picked up by other people. They know that you're a person who's not doing the work. And I want to take it further than that. It's not just about it's being picked up. I kind of feel it's unfair and almost fraudulent. Like it's kind of like a bit of a con, right? Hey, I don't believe in myself enough, and I'm not willing to kind of create big investments in me. But you know what? There's some stuff I'd really like to do with my life and improve my life, and I'd love for you to make a huge investment in me. It's not fair. It's not a fair situation in coaching. And it creates, certainly for me, it creates a massive disconnect. And I'm not saying this to judge you. If this is what you've been trying to do, I don't blame you, right? Kind of, it's not a judgment thing in that way. I'm not blaming you. There are a lot of people out there saying, charge whatever you can get. Here's what I want to put to you. Reduce the size of your promises, right? Sell your packages at a price that feels fair to you and that you feel easy, not easy, but even if it's slightly challenging for you to speak about that price. Let's say you feel comfortable talking about $5,000 packages and maybe you bring it up to 6. Well, sell a $6,000 package and make sure that at $6,000 you are delivering awesome service. And maybe for you, it might, as you're listening, you might go, $6,000, that's huge for me. Or maybe it's 600 pounds, dollars, euros, yen, right? But sell something at a price that feels fair to you and feels good. Once you've sold that, there's nothing saying that you have to continue selling that. You may only ever sell one at one price point. I've done this numerous times in my life. Sold something at a price point, said, okay, how do I feel about that? That was good. I got a great result. Now let me move to the next price point. Now let me move to the next price point, next price point. But continuously selling based upon what you feel you're worth. But at the same time now, look for people to invest in that are ever so slightly uncomfortable for you to invest in, right? So kind of spend a bit more than you would normally spend, and it doesn't if the most you've ever spent on a course has been £500 or whatever, like, I'm not saying to you to suddenly go and find a 10 grand mentor, but find a way to up your investment in yourself. And what you'll see is that as you start to increase your investments in yourself as a coach, asking another person to increase their investments is going to feel easy, and it's going to feel natural, and they themselves are going to kind of meet you in that place where when they look in your eyes, they know that you're a person who's investing in you, in yourself. But what doesn't work is this trying to sell like a warrior but buying like a wimp. Please, 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 right? You know, I'm not saying this to be nasty to anyone, but it's simply this. I love the clients that I coach, and I love the fact that the coaching profession exists, that there are people in the world that trust, wow, if I go and work with a coach, these changes are going to happen in my life. So I want to protect the clients. I also want to protect the profession. I want this profession to continue to grow and be well established and have people saying, wow, kind of that coaching profession is really something amazing. Not, it's full of charlatans and people that just kind of try it on with the pricing. And I also want to protect you as the coach, because every single time you get knocked back for pricing that is unfair or unrealistic, or that you weren't 100% behind, where you were just trying on the price, every time you get knocked back, your self-esteem, your perception of your own self-worth goes down. And that is never a good thing for a coach to be doubting themselves about, am I good enough? Okay. One of the things I always say to my clients, my students, is this: think really, really, really fucking big. Think really big, but act really, really small. Take a small step and then take another small step and then take another small step and take another small step. Don't think big. Don't think of a 10 grand package today, but know that you're just out of the academy or you've got no experience really, and try and sell a 10 grand package to other people. It just doesn't work and it's not fair. Anyway, that's my opinion. I would love to hear yours. Does this resonate with you? Does it turn you off? Well, what's going through your mind as you hear this mad rambling semi-rant? Right, because it's a bit of a tame, lame rant, really, isn't it? I don't truly rant, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Take care.